up, guys? My name is Michael Ray. I'm a professional musician from Sacramento, California. I've been doing this full time for about 3.5, 4 years now. I wanted to make a video to show you guys, whether you're like a hobbyist or like an aspiring professional, kind of how to cross that gap and get to the point where you're like able to pay your bills and sustain yourself with music full time. Gigging a lot, working as many nights a week as you can, and paying your bills with music full time. That's it. Before I get into the actual how-tos, I want to kind of cover like a few points that are just important before we get into it. One is you're gonna have to sacrifice a lot. Like, that's without doubt, you're gonna have to sacrifice a ton. I do this because it's my favorite thing in the world to do. Music is like my biggest passion ever, and being able to do that for a living is worth the sacrifice to me. And what I mean by sacrifice, it could be time with your family. There might be financial sacrifices. You're probably not going to make as much money as if you were a good car salesman or a CEO somewhere or something like that. But you can get to the point where you can pay your bills, support yourself comfortably, and I think that's important. I mean, I want more out of this, but at the same time, I'm very satisfied being able to do this and not work a regular job. Another point before we get into it to cover is that the way I've done this and the way I'm going to talk about doing this in this video is very like solo endeavor type of thing. Not to say there's not a lot of people involved and help from other people, and I have like a big network now at this point that I interact with. But what I mean by that is that I never like started a band with like 4 other dudes and we all get tattoos of the band on us and we're gonna make it famous, and like that's not the approach I'm talking about. This is how, if you're a guy with a guitar and you can sing some songs, or a piano, or a bass player or a drummer, how to get work. I'll say it again, how to support yourself with music alone. Alright, so that being said, there's going to be some things that you need to possess before you're able to like go about becoming a professional. The first of these, and this is important, is talent. It sounds like an obvious point, but I think a lot of people are unrealistic with themselves about how good they are, how much practice they might need to put in, or how little they have. And it's huge. You have to be. Everybody I know that does this for a living is really good at it. And it sounds like an obvious point, but it's true. There's not a lot of people that are getting paid, none that I know of, to not sound good. Be real with yourself. Judge how people react to your playing. To be real about where you're at. Get your skills up to par before you attempt to turn it into a career, for sure. The next thing you're going to need is working gear. And when I say working gear, I say that to differentiate between, like, you don't need the craziest like boutique tube amp. You don't need a 62 Strat or whatever crazy $8,000 vintage guitar you think you might need to become a professional. You just don't. You need things that work. You need a guitar that's well intonated. That means when you play a note that's in tune here, it's in tune here as well. You need reliable cables, and lots of them. You need picks, you need straps, you need cases for your instruments. You need an amplifier that works for you and gives you a good sound. So you just need working gear. Alright, and the last thing you're going to need, if you have all these other ones down, is the understanding that being a professional musician, especially a solo one like I'm talking about here, where you work for yourself and generate your own income, is being a small business owner. Really no difference. Your product is your skills as a musician and your ability to provide entertainment for people. But you have to sell it and keep track of it and generate leads just like any other small business would. I think if more people could look at it that way, it would be a lot easier to understand maybe why they can't get as many gigs as they like, or why they're not getting the gigs that they like. It's a business, and the sooner you can understand that, like, the better off you'll be. You understand these things, you have talent, you're gonna have to make sacrifice, you have a way to get to the gigs, you understand it's a small business. All that being said, this is actually how you become a professional musician. The first point I want to mention is you need to learn a lot of covers. It doesn't mean you can't write originals and put out albums with originals on them and play those at gigs and stuff like that, because you can. But you have to be able to play stuff that people like, they recognize, and they like. It might not be songs you necessarily would like, oh, this is like my first choice to learn this song. But if you can do a good version of it and people like it, that's important. You need a lot of songs like that. Danceable stuff helps. Just things that people recognize and like. I would say have at least 3 hours of covers down before you start trying to do this. The next thing that you need to do, the next thing that I needed to do, and this was a big one for me, is get offline and get out of the house. I thought you could generate gigs, emailing people or making phone calls or whatever, sitting in your house all day. you can't. I don't really think anybody can do that. I was not able to. I would say, yeah, get out of your house and go to where people are playing music. Go to open mics, go to jams, go to other people's shows, anywhere where there might be gigging musicians, bar owners, people that book at places. The more people you can meet, the better. So get out of your house, go to where people are playing music, introduce yourself, and keep going all the time. Be persistent, show up, just show your face, be everywhere you can be. What's going to end up happening is eventually people are going to start offering you gigs. Now you're at the point where you're out and you're, 4 or 5 nights a week, you're out playing music with people somehow. Open mic, jam, whatever it is. Eventually people are going to offer you opportunities to play outside of those, like legit gigs, whether it's private parties, a couple sets at a bar or a club around you, playing for a brunch, whatever it might be. People are going to start offering you opportunities to play, and they might not be the best paying at first, and some of them might not even pay, but it's important in the beginning to just say yes to all of it. Whatever people want you to play, just yes, I'll do it. If you can make it to the gig, say yes, show up early, be professional, play the gig. If you're doing that and you're saying yes to everything and you're being professional about it and you're doing a good job, you're going to get more offers and more offers. And eventually you're going to get to the point where you don't have to take the free ones that you don't want to play anymore. You don't have to go play the farmer's market 5 miles from your house for free or for 20 bucks in tips or whatever if you don't want to anymore. Because you'll have enough offers coming in that are legit paying gigs. And you just, slowly you start replacing the worst gigs on your calendar with the better ones that are coming in, and they push out the bad and you work your way up the ladder. That's the method that I use to get from being a guy sitting in his bedroom recording music and wanting to get out there and, do this for a living to where I'm at now, which is it's been about 3.5 years now that I've been completely full-time as a musician. Playing music for a living is like the most rewarding thing I've ever done. If this video can help anybody get from where, that point where you want to do this to being able to do it full-time, that would just be awesome if it just helps like one person do that. So if you guys have any questions or anything, like drop them in the comments. I will definitely answer them. As you can see, I don't have like a ton of subscribers at the moment. So on that note, if you do dig what I'm saying here, and maybe check out some of the past videos I've posted, hit the subscribe button. I'd appreciate it. I'll make another video real soon covering a different topic.